Hey guys, what is up? It is me, the WildWestGamer. I am sat here next to a really fucking warm TV. Fuck, is it warm? I mean, it's hot outside, but Jesus Christ. Um, yeah, I saw Iron Man 3. Finally. Yeah, I got my ass around to going out to see it. It was really, really good. Really good. Um, as the first film after the Avengers, um, there was a lot to really bring to the table as far as what Iron Man could do. And yeah, it more than stepped up. It really did. Done by Shane Black, return of Robert Downey Jr. As Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts, Tom Cheadle as Major Rhodes, the Iron Patriot in this. Guy Pearce is Adrian Killian, and Sir Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin. Really, really good, really good. And I say this not because it's just Iron Man, not because it's Avengers, whatever, because yet again the characters, the film, the story, everyone in it, we see a really nice turn to it. There is a message about this film. It's about learning who you are, accepting who you are, and if you don't like it, changing yourself. If you realize you're an asshole, it's not too late to change who you are. And that's kind of what this film is about. It's about self-sacrifice. It's about becoming a better person when you lose your way. And I really, really enjoyed it. I really did. Nice take on the characters established by Marvel. Now, this is the thing. There is a lot to be said if you guys go on the forums or whatever, or wherever you go to find your info or talk to fellow friendos about this. There's a lot to be said about certain interpretations of characters, and if you don't want spoilers, probably best to turn off now because I think I'm gonna have to address it. So I'll give you a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, if you hear anything you don't want to, it's all on you, baby. Yeah, right. Sir Ben Kingsley is the Mandarin. It ain't the Mandarin from the comics, alright? It really ain't. There ain't no magical rings in this. He ain't laying shit down. He turns out to be an actor. Ben Kingsley plays the Mandarin, who is in fact an actor hired to be the Mandarin as a cover for Adrian Killian, who is experimenting with the extremist virus. There, I said it. If you guys didn't want to hear that, you should have turned away. Now you've heard that, absorb it, deal with it, embrace it, make it a part of yourself, but use it for the good of mankind. Really, really nice turn on the character, because if we all knew, a lot of people going, oh, you fucked up the Mandarin, one of the greatest Iron Man enemies. No, you didn't. We can't go through comic book films having our characters being exactly the same as they are in the comics. It won't be fun. It won't be interesting. If I knew, well, alright, okay. To be fair, in The Dark Knight Rises, I knew Bane was going to break Batman's back. Again, spoiler, but you were warned. That if I knew that was going to happen. But if Bane isn't the same interpretation as he is in the comics, so the context is different. When Batman gets his bat broken, we're not dealing with a sort of a Batman near the end of his career. It's quite a savvy and smart. He's certainly nowhere near the Dark Knight Returns sort of Batman. He's not old. He's not withered. He's still strong and perfectly fit to fight. He just gets bested by Bane. He underestimates Bane. Or he bites off too. Perhaps he gets a bit too involved in his own legend and bites off more than he can chew. And Bane breaks his back in the comics. In The Dark Knight Rises, it's Batman. It's sort of Batman's ego. It's kind of the same, kind of a little bit the same as the comics, but to be fair, he does. It's his ego. It gets the best of him. He thinks he can take him. He thinks no one else can stop Bane, and so he goes up against him, and he gets his ass handed to him for good reason. And he has to learn again, like in the first film. Why do we fall down? So we can learn to get back up again. We can take the knocks so we can come back stronger. That's what the film is teaching, and that is a big part of it. Now, that's never any really the reason, he has a scary man, punch him in the back until it fixes his spine. Alright, I know he slipped a vertebrae, which isn't exactly the same as breaking your spine, but still, I'm pretty sure you can't just have someone kick the shit out of you and you get better, alright? I'm pretty sure that, screws you over even more. But regardless, a wizard doesn't fix it. Magic don't fix it in this one like it does in the comics. So that's my point. You've got to have different interpretations of stuff. We can't spend the rest of forever watching films about the same done and dusted interpretations of comic book characters. Do them different. As long as they're respectful of the source material, it's fine. And it is the Mandarin. When he's the Mandarin, is sinister. He's scary. All of the stuff he does is done in a way that is designed to intimidate and scare. And he does for the most part have this global reaching influence. That's scary. For the Mandarin is all powerful at the beginning of this film. Before we find out he's just an actor, he is all powerful. He is very scary. He has a lot of control, and he does frighten people. Isn't that what the Mandarin did in the comics? Yeah, no, really, maybe, perhaps. I mean, come on, if we've got to move on from this. So I've spent long enough on that now. But for the rest of the film, yeah, awesome, really, really cool. I just like the fact that there are loads of Iron Man suits in this. I like the fact they're clearly hinting at what's to come. We've got space suits, we've got underwater suits, we've got, hazardous, survival suits. We've clearly got the Hulkbuster. They are so setting up little things for the next Avenger films, which is nice, but is not too, sequel baity heavy as Iron Man 2. So it's nice. Likewise, yeah. Tony Stark has to learn to overcome himself. He has to get over himself. Clearly, the guy is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder from New York. In New York, he sort of realizes that not only is he not the only superhero who is badass, he's just a very small fish. There are aliens, there are gods, there are all-powerful beings, there are super soldiers, secret agents, all this shit going on. He's just a small fish, and also he nearly dies in New York as well in the Avengers. Again, spoiler, but you knew this was coming, so don't you bitch out at me in the comments. He almost dies in New York. It sort of gives him this sense of morality and mortality. Oh, I don't fuck it. He basically learns that he isn't invincible. He's not Invincible Iron Man. Badam, pun of the day. And it's cool to see because in the last two films, essentially, he has been incredibly indestructible. He puts on the suit, that's it. Likewise, it's nice to see him mucking around with his toys again, tinkering around with the Iron Man suits. We see him sort of testing it out again, working on it. Some of the suits aren't perfect, they're not flawless, and I like that. I think that was one of the best bits about number one, him still learning to use the suits, and sort of get a grip on them, and that's really nice to come back to. Likewise, Gwyneth Paltrow's character again really develops in this film. She takes a very active role in it. She's not just the damsel in distress in this one. She saves Iron Man in the end. And he realizes what it means to be who he is and why he makes the choice he does at the end of the film. Likewise, as for villains, now I really like Guy Pearce actually in this, and I think that he does play a very believable villain. He plays a guy who's been burnt by Tony Stark in the past. He wants his own back, and that's kind of understandable. He's basically saying, if Tony Stark thinks he's this big, almighty guy, he's going to live forever because he says he is, then, Guy Pearce's character, Adrian Killian, is going to set him straight, which is, he's got better stuff. His stuff he's working on it's not armor, it's not high tech. It's the next step in human evolution. It's about taking what we take for granted, the brain, our minds, our imaginations, and making them stronger, making them better, so that we become better, and sort of giving you superpowers. And he kicks Tony Stark's ass at multiple times in this film, which is cool. I think we need to see that because if we don't see how fallible the characters are in these films, it is essentially going to be, we know they're never going to lose anything important to themselves. We do. We gain it from this film. We gain that Tony Stark understands the price of what it means to be who he is, and that he can't just carry on, this carefree lifestyle forever. He needs to grow up and change, which is really cool, because I'm hoping now in Avengers 2 we're going to see a lot more mature, more grown up. He's still going to be witty and funny. He's not lost that, but we're going to see a much more. He's going to be a lot more responsible and a lot more aware of what his duty is, which is to use the power he has for good. I mean, he was doing it before with destroying his weapons, but again, that was sort of a selfish motive. He was destroying his weapons because he felt he did it bad, not because he kind of wanted to protect people. So, take that how you will. And yeah, Don Cheadle as Rhodey, James Rhodes. Again, really like him. I love the fact the Iron Patriot is in it. I know, again, people go, it's not Norman Osborn. Oh, for fuck's sake, fuck off, alright? We've not even had the Marvel Civil War. How the fuck could it have been Norman Osborn wearing it? Fucking get over it. It makes sense. You've got this high-tech, this high-tech, suit of armor with all this weaponry and gadgetry. What are they going to do? Really? It's kind of like a PR disaster for the United States Army if they walk around calling it War Machine. They even address it in the film. You can't have this guy with a fucking minigun on his shoulder walking around calling himself War Machine, and wherever he shows up he just obliterates people, because it kind of comes across as being a little bit American imperialism, personified. So Iron Patriot makes all the sense. What would you do if you had this high? You try and make it more, media friendly by Stars and Stripes. What more applies to the patriotic nature of the American people than a personification of it? And seeing as they have Captain America that's been established in this universe, they might as well have the Iron Patriot. It's just another branch of that. So there you have it, really. Yeah, and like I say, Don Cheadle in this, we get to see him use more of the suit. It's really cool to see that. Likewise, him and Tony this time are doing a lot more together. At the end of number 2, it was just a quick duke out with Mickey Rourke. That was it. In this one, there's a lot more substantial climax, and likewise, it is very cool. Nice. I like the fact that every time they come to the Iron Man suit, there's something new that makes you go, ooh. And this one is the whole part of the way he gets into the suits a lot more quicker. It's really nice to see that it originally was very slow, mechanical arms putting it on him. Next, it was he just always, he had the cool suitcase thing for quick rapid put on. Number 3, he lands and it's now quite fluid the way it takes it off of him. And he's also got the cool, missile case thing which deploys in Avengers. This one, it comes in bits. It attaches itself to him in bits. And again, that's a really funny bit about it, because again, you get to see him sort of, again, learning to use it. Or there's bits where he's only got the glove, or he's only got one of the feet rocket boosters on him, or stuff like that. And that's really cool. And likewise, there's a great bit where, all of the bits are flying onto him and the helmet accidentally hits him in the crotch. That's always funny. Seeing a guy get hit in the crotch, plenty of that in the Avengers, I'll be a happy man. Crotch hitting, always a win. And yeah, that's really it. That is really Iron Man 3. Crotch hitting. No, not really. It is just the continuation of Tony Stark's journey, and it ends with a quite surprising twist, which is then sort of immediately you go, what? And then it kind of go, oh, okay then. You kind of know that the ending is not really the ending. It's just the beginning of another phase of it. And blatantly, I'm not going to fucking dig. They're working on the Extremis armor. He's going to be getting his sort of techno-organic armor, which comes out through his skin. They're blatantly working on that. Why the fuck would you have Extremis in the 3rd film if you weren't working on that? So there you go, I've said it. The film ends with him throwing all of his suits away, destroying all of his suits, saying he, even though he's not Iron Man, he is always going to be Iron Man. Iron Man is part of him. It's not, and he has the arc reactor removed and the shrapnel removed, which I don't quite understand why he didn't do that fucking ages ago, but fine. And at the end of it, he finds one of the Extremis vials, and you see him kind of go, like that, and he pops it in his pocket. You know that in the Avengers 2, there's going to be Extremis. Oh yeah, baby. And it'll be cool to see. It'll be awesome to see. And it'll be, it just will be, it'll be better. I mean, they've got to work on a new way for him to get into the armor this time. What better way, excuse me, I'm not an animal normally, but what better way than just to see him grow the armor through his skin. So there you have it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I was the WildWestGamer. I am glad that I saw Iron Man 3. I would recommend it, certainly. I think that whenever they finally get around to Avengers 2 and Avengers Phase 2 is all out, I think we're really gonna have a set of films we're gonna be really proud with, and then eventually, once they get Avengers Phase 3 through the door, if all of the actors are still playing the characters who they want to play, if they want to play them. I mean, I've got to be honest with you, alright? I don't know what they're planning on doing. There's talk about Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch being in the next one. Listen, just focus on getting Avengers 1, 2, and 3 set up in giving us a great trilogy. I'll be happy, alright? Robert Downey Jr. ain't going to want to play this character forever, alright? Chris Evans ain't going to want to. And I'm sure that Hollywood ain't going to keep Scarlett Johansson around forever, alright? Hollywood is probably one of the most sexist, sort of industries in the world. I doubt they're going to want to see, sort of 40 plus, Scarlett Johansson running around on screen in, like, tight leather, alright? Let's be honest about this. They need to get this done, because I love the characters. I really do. I love the characters of the Avengers. I think they've really translated well to cinema, and I think Josh Whedon has really done a fantastic job, and I want to see all those characters through 1, 2, and 3. After that, do what they fucking want, but as long as they tie up a trilogy in a believable way, with all the films in between really getting better and better and better after each other. Thor Dark World looks fantastic. Yeah, I'll be really happy, because it would just be, for once, we would have a set of Marvel films to be proud of. So far, I can't think of really a complete set of Marvel films which I'm happy about. Spider-Man number 3 was a disappointment. We'll see if the Amazing Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 are any better. X-Men 3 was awful, along with the fact that Wolverine Origins was not that fantastic. As for Origins Magneto, I have no fucking idea where that's supposed to be. First Class will probably redeem it, but to be fair, once the damage is done, the damage is done. Then you've got the multiple reincarnations of the Hulk, Fantastic Four, need I say more? They need to really work at these things and give us the films we deserve, because people ain't going to sit around watching comic book films forever. They really, really are not. People are going to want to, people are just going to turn off. People can get bored and turn off and look for other films, like Judge Dredd, which was a fucking awesome comic book adaptation, and they better make a sequel to that. Word is they're probably not gonna, but if they, they really should. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. That's my opinion of Iron Man 3. Really, really good. Really happy with where the film went. And check it out. See what you think. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. And if you don't, well, fuck you then. No, really. No, if you don't like it, you didn't like it. I'm not distant. The one thing I ain't going to be is some uber hardcore fanboy going, oh, you have to like it. It's the Avengers. No, you don't have to like it at all. In the same way, if someone says to me, I didn't really like Batman, I didn't like The Dark Knight. Okay, cool. As long as you give me a genuine reason about it, I'll be cool about it. So there you have it, guys. Take it easy. Do something productive with your day. I don't know what. Just don't go and tease goats. Goats are mean, small-minded creatures. I think they're really, really pissed off with the fact their eyes are so far on the side of their heads. Seriously, I don't trust animals with eyes on the sides of their heads. Why have they got to see, like, everywhere? Why? It's not fair. You can't sneak up on a goat. They know you're there. It's like some sort of goat sense. They're just full aware of it, and then they charge, and that's not fair. If you've got horns, you shouldn't be able to see everywhere as well, because it means you've got 360-degree charging capability, and all I want to do is just ride a goat. I think it'll be funny as flip. So anyway, guys, after that tangent, I will see you later on the flip side. And we all know what side the flip side is. That side.